So let's talk a little bit about workplace stress. We all have been through workplace stress at some point or the other. However, it is very important to keep in mind that all stress is not bad. There's in fact a good type of stress called eustress, that is EUSTRESS. It's the kind of stress that you feel when you get deadlines met, that last bit of drive that is left when we feel that we need to get something done. So it's a productivity kind of stress, which I think is very, very important, because otherwise how would we function in our daily lives, right? So it's good to have a little bit of stress now and then. What we're talking about is chronic stress. Chronic stress can be damaging for your overall health. So 3 things to keep in mind when it comes to dealing with stress in general is always pay attention to your breath. So breath is the most basic human function, and ironically enough, even though it's a very obvious thing, it's not something we do very well. There's a reason why athletes are told to breathe well, and because it gives you that sense of oxygen, which is very, very important for your cells to function and for you to feel at ease. And it also kind of balances the fear response, which is a very natural response that we are all used to. The second thing when it comes to stress is to understand that you are not under threat. So very often it is the negative narratives that we have around stress that causes even more stress. So when life happens to us and whenever there's something that we need to get done, we might feel stressed out. However, very often it's because of the backstory. We think that if we do not get this report done in time, or if we don't talk to this particular person, or if the presentation doesn't go 100%, that our lives will end. And we all inherently know that that is not true. So it's important to check your narrative when it comes to workplace stress, because very often the things that we think are going to cause complete destruction of our lives are not as damaging as we think they are. There's a cognitive bias called overgeneralization as well as catastrophizing. So the human mind loves to dramatize everything. So keep that in mind. The third thing that is important to keep in mind when it comes to stress is that you have to take care of yourself in general to feel and manage the stress properly. So for example, we have to go back to the basics. Exercise is very important. Instead of exercise, you can say movement, because it's a better word. It is encompassing all kinds of workouts. So it could be walking, it could be jogging, it could be swimming, it could be doing stretches, it could be yoga, whatever helps you get the blood circulation going. Also, healthy diet, very important. As unprocessed as we can do is best, because we don't want to put anything artificial in our bodies. Although we cannot avoid artificial food 100% all the time, it's good to keep in mind that that does help your mental health and your capacity to deal with stressful situations. Third is please stay hydrated when it comes to your physical health and managing it. People always underestimate the importance of hydration. So those are the 3 main aspects that you need to keep in mind when considering workplace stress, very briefly. Hope you apply this and it makes your stress just a little bit more manageable.